greatest football clubs and the best football players in the world.
Also, my favorite club is Chelsea, but they're completely in the mud, so... Oh well, it is what it is.
But it wasn't always this way. English football has been through over 100 years of struggles, heartbreaks, success stories, and iconic moments.
Oh yeah,
So,
Invisibles
how did the Premier
and
League
the
take
Leicester
over football
saga. Oh my god,
and
that was
become the
amazing.
biggest sports league in the world? This is the entire history of the Premier League. On the 17th of April 1888, 12 English football clubs came together with one vision in mind. The idea was to create a recognized football league where teams from across the country would fight for glory. And just like that, the English Football League was born. Preston North End won the first season going unbeaten and went on to win
Didn't the Premier League actually start in 1992?
History, the mighty Preston were factually the best club in England. As the years went on,
Fun fact, David Beckham used to play for Preston North End.
Divisions, and just like that, the football pyramid started to form. The early decades in the English League saw a couple of teams rise to the top. The late 1800s were dominated by Aston Villa. The early 1900s,
I mean, they're doing a late resurgence now. Not late, like a very recent resurgence under Unai Emery.
Had a great run, winning 4 in a row. And just before the Second World War, Arsenal took charge, winning 5 titles in 8 years. But as you might have guessed, the world of football came to a halt in 1939, thanks to the failed Austrian painter over in Germany. But football bounced back. The next decade of English football would see one of the most promising football teams ever rise to the top of the world, and then face the great tragedy in English football history. Right after the war,
is he gonna? Yeah,
appointed
he's
a
gonna talk
manager
about
who
it.
would revolutionize their football club, and his name was Matt Busby. He started to put together a team that would play sexy football as he focused on younger players.
I think I know exactly what incident he's going to talk about.
At the time, this team he put together was nicknamed the Busby Babes.
Yep,
After a couple
I
of
know exactly what he's going to talk about. What incident? I'm not
finally
sure.
lifted their
Spoilers,
first
but
league title
yeah.
in 1952, and just a couple seasons later would go on and win the league back-to-back in 1956 and 1957. This was all thanks to players like Bobby Charlton, Duncan Edwards, and Tommy Taylor. But just as this team was starting to dominate English football, they would face a tragedy that football had never seen before. In February 1958, Manchester United were traveling home from a European Cup match and needed to stop in Munich to refuel. As the plane was taking off, visibility was very poor, and the pilot couldn't get a clear view of the runway. The plane crashed during takeoff, taking the lives of 8 football players along with 15 other passengers. This was heartbreaking.
Yeah.
The best team in England was destroyed, and nobody knew if Manchester United would ever make it back to the top.
Yeah, that is a historic event, in like for not in the Premier League, but just in, like in football in general.
Teams to rise. Wolverhampton Wanderers won 2 titles back to back. Burnley picked up a title, and then the mighty Tottenham Hotspurs actually managed to win the league. Now, this title was significant for Spurs as it was the start of a
Wait, hold on. Spurs actually won something? I know this was like in the 50s and something, but like Spurs not being Spurs and winning something? Impossible.
40-year dynasty where Spurs won league after league and became England's greatest team is what they hoped would happen. But this was actually the last league title Spurs would ever win. Poor Spurs fans. Now, during this period, Liverpool were actually playing in the 2nd division, but in 1959, they appointed Bill Shankly as manager, who would be the catalyst for Liverpool's golden era.
Well, I've heard about
promotion
his name.
back to the 1st division and managed to win the league in 1964. The year after that, something magical happened. Matt Busby was back. He, along with the other survivors of the Munich crash, had rebuilt Manchester United in just 6 years. They won the Premier League once again with some old faces like Bobby Charlton and some newer faces like the one and only George Best. The next few years would see Man United and Liverpool go back.
Very good ability, but like
2 English powerhouses. But in
many footballers end up doing, they get consumed by the money and the lifestyle and don't really focus on their playing.
Now that's a comeback story. Matt Busby became Sir Matt Busby, and he stepped down from his position as Man United manager. Liverpool took this opportunity and they took over. They won 11 league titles in the next 20 years, thanks to players like Kevin Keegan, Kenny Dalglish, Graham Souness, and Ian Rush, just to name a few. English teams dominated Europe in the late 1970s and early 80s, where for 6 seasons straight, the European Cup went to an English team. Liverpool, Nottingham Forest, and Aston Villa all managed to lift the trophy in this
Hey, let's
period.
go, House
Now,
Ball.
as the 80s came to an end, quite a few
But that's
things
favorite team,
happened
by
that
the
were
way.
pivotal in shaping the future of English football. Gary Lineker began his career, and he would go on to become one of England's greatest ever strikers. Paul Gascoigne would also make his debut and go on to become a cult
Gaza.
hero because of the incredible flair and skill in his style of play. Then, a young manager named Alex Ferguson signed for Manchester United, who
Ah, yeah, this man used to ruin childhood. Oh my god, his United team is too good. It won too much. As a Chelsea fan, I was like, damn, can you stop?
you're going to hear a lot more about soon. Oh, and last but not least, the English Football League was transformed into the English Premier League.
Oh, I got that spot on.
Now, you might be
1992,
asking,
bro. I
why
got the
did they
spot
form
on.
the Premier League? And to sum it up, money. This formation of the Premier League was spearheaded by the big 5 clubs at the time: Everton, Man United, Liverpool, Arsenal, and Spurs, who won
Wait, Big 5? Wait, why is Everton there? I'm genuinely confused. Why is Everton there?
wanted to bring more money into English football, and that's exactly what they did by structuring a system where all clubs would get more commercial access and they would sell off TV rights to the highest bidders. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's talk football. Alex Ferguson won the first Premier League season, ending Manchester United's 26-year drought. Alan Shearer made the move to Newcastle United from Blackburn Rovers, as he was ready to announce himself as the best striker in the Premier League. These early Premier League years were
Wait, does Alan Shearer... Yeah, I think Alan Shearer still has a scoring record in the Prem. Harry Kane could have a chance, but then, you know, he moved to Bayern, which is like, honestly, the right move, but even though he moved to Bayern, still can win a trophy, because, you know, Bayern Leverkusen and all that, and how they are going undefeated. You gotta feel sorry for that man, like, seriously. You gotta feel sorry for him.
Dominated by Man United, as they won 4 out of the first 5 Premier League titles. In 1993, football sweetheart Roy Keane made the move to Manchester United, where he would soon be known as one of the most loving and caring football players to ever play the game. In the 94-95 season, Blackburn Rovers
Roy Keane, the
won
menace.
the league on the last day of the season, as Man United failed to win their final game. This gave Alan Shearer his only Premier League title, which he well and truly deserved. Man was literally a goal machine. This season also saw Eric Cantona Kung Fu kick a fan.
Oh yeah, that iconic. When I saw that, I was like, wait, what? you can do that? He didn't go to jail, but he went to court,
which resulted him in receiving an 8-month ban from football. Now, something that can be seen throughout Alex Ferguson's time at Man United is his love for young players. And going into the 95-96 season, he had a group of young players known as the Class of 92. Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Paul Scholes, Nicky Butt, Gary Neville, and Phil Neville had all made their debuts leading up to this, but this season saw them really cement themselves in the first team. Ferguson knew the talent these kids had, and he put all his faith in them. This came with a lot of criticism, most notably from Liverpool legend Alan Hansen, who on the first day of the season told Alex Ferguson, "You can't win anything with kids."
You can't win anything with kids.
And he was proved so very wrong.
Yeah.
These kids became stars as Man United won another league title. An iconic halfway line goal from Beckham further cemented him as a superstar. At this same time, Dennis Bergkamp arrived at Arsenal.
Dennis
and the season
Bergkamp!
after,
Dennis
Arsene
Bergkamp!
Wenger followed suit
You
as
know.
Arsenal were getting fed up of this Man United domination, and they were ready to revolt. Arsene Wenger won the Premier League in his first full season in charge of Arsenal. They beat Man United to the title by a single point, thanks to a 1-0 victory at Old Trafford. Finally, there was a rival to Ferguson's United, making for some thrilling matches between them. Now, roll on the 98-99 season.
Oh yeah,
Man United
the
were
Arsenal and Man
back with
United
vengeance. A Premier League, an FA
rivalry
Cup,
used to
and
be
a
so
Champions League
fierce.
in the most
Like, holy shit.
dramatic fashion possible.
Oh yeah, I remember this. I remember seeing like highlights of this shit.
Manchester United won the treble, and Ferguson summed it up best.
Can't believe it. Football, bloody hell.
Man United took this momentum into the next 2 seasons, winning the league again and again, beating out Arsenal twice more to the title. In this time, Liverpool won a baby treble consisting of the FA Cup, League Cup, and UEFA Cup. Leeds United reached a Champions League semi-final and then got relegated a couple of seasons after that. Man City also got relegated, which would be the last.
So for all the kids watching, Manchester City did not used to be that good. In fact, they used to be very shit. You're probably gonna crucify me because I am a Chelsea fan and I also have sort of oil money or Russian like oligarch money, but like shut up.
Relegation they would ever face, and at this time, Arsenal were cooking. They signed a young French attacker you might have heard of named Thierry Henry, along with star defender Sol Campbell from their rivals Tottenham Hotspur. Poor Spurs fans. Henry finished as the top scorer in the Premier League, completing the double that season, which also saw Ferguson announce his retirement. He later backtracked on this decision as he felt he had unfinished business at United, which, looking back, was definitely the right call. The next 2 seasons
because United, y'all have not recovered post-Ferguson. Like, goddamn.
continued with this back and forth between Man United and Arsenal as they picked up another title each, but Arsenal's title was a bit more significant than United's as they wrote their names in the history books by going the entire season without losing a single game. They were invincible. This season was iconic. Henry scored 30 Premier League goals, and Arsenal won the title at White Hart Lane against Tottenham Hotspur.
That is such a big slap in the face.
Once again, poor Spurs fans. But at this time, the Premier League was changing. David Beckham left Man United to join the Galacticos in Madrid. United found 2 young replacements in Cristiano.
Sorry, before we go on. That Galacticos team, in my opinion, underachieved. Considering how many star players they had at the time. You would figure they would win more than, like 1 or 2 league titles?
Ronaldo and Wayne Rooney, who would be ready to set the Premiership on fire. Chelsea Football Club was bought out by Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich, who started spending money on players to get Chelsea to the top of football. And in 2004, one manager would arrive in England that would change the Premier League forever.
I prefer not to speak. I'm the special one.
Please don't call me arrogant because what I'm saying is true. I think I'm a special one.
Jose Mourinho landed in London. The 2-team league had a new challenger in town. Chelsea were ready to take over, and that's exactly
my manager.
What they did. Drogba signed for Chelsea in the summer of 2004, joining
Club
Jose
legend.
Mourinho
Love you, Drogba.
as they would go on to dominate their first season. They smashed the Premier League points record with a total of 95 points. But what's even more impressive than that is that Chelsea only conceded 15 goals in the entire 38-game season.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Record that will probably never be broken again and shows the sheer quality Chelsea had at the back with the likes of Terry and Carvalho. Arsenal's invincible streak was finally broken by
really badly right now
after going 49 games without a loss.
Especially since Thiago Silva is now going.
Complete the greatest comeback in Champions League history. They were 3 goals down in the first half, but a heroic second-half comeback saw Liverpool and Steven Gerrard lift the Champions League trophy. At this point,
American Istanbul
to form the Big Four, being made up of Arsenal, Chelsea, Man United, and Liverpool, as these teams were clearly a cut above the rest and would consistently finish in the top 4 spots in the years that followed. Chelsea won the league once more in the following season, and Arsenal would make the move to the Emirates Stadium with the idea that it would allow them to compete further with the biggest clubs in the world. But as I'm sure you know by now,
that didn't really happen. That did not pan out. That move from Highbury to Emirates, that led to a whole nother banter era before they kind of bounced back again.
That didn't really go to plan. Now, heading into the 06-07 season, Ferguson and Man United had gone 3 seasons straight without a title. This was his longest ever drought since the Premier League began, but he had slowly been building a super team that would go on to win 3 leagues in a row. This United team had it all. Rooney and Ronaldo up front, Vidic and Ferdinand at the back. The experience from the class of '92 was still around, with Neville, Giggs, and Scholes playing key roles in the team. They simply weren't messing about. Manchester United also picked up the 2008 Champions League title as Ronaldo took home his first Ballon d'Or that year, proving he was the best player in the world. After this three-peat, Ronaldo left United for a world record fee to Real Madrid. Mourinho and Thierry Henry had also left Chelsea and Arsenal, which meant the Premier League had lost some real star power. The absence of
Yeah, when Ronaldo left and when Mourinho left, not gonna lie. Oh, why did my voice break? But not gonna lie, I didn't stop watching the Premier League, in particular, but like I definitely started watching more La Liga. So when he moved to Real Madrid, I was like, you know what? I'll check Real Madrid out because they were in the process of creating like Galacticos 2.0. The few years of Mourinho versus Guardiola, Ronaldo versus Messi. I think that rivalry lasted for like 4 years. Peak football. To this day, nothing can beat that rivalry. Those 4 years were golden. Peak football. That's all I'm gonna say.
Jose Mourinho didn't seem to be a problem though, as Chelsea sealed another league title in 2010, which saw Drogba finish as the top scorer that season. Now roll on the 2010-2011 season, Manchester United won yet another league title with some dramatic moments throughout the season. This title was significant as it was their 19th English league title. Liverpool had 18 titles, meaning Sir Alex Ferguson finally knocked Liverpool off their perch. Manchester United were now officially the most successful club in English history, but they wouldn't like what was coming their way because their noisy neighbors had just been bought out
Aguero! Oh, that shit was crazy. Like,
by Abu Dhabi Investment Group and were about to shake
Soak
up the
it in.
entire Premier League.
Fitadori.
Manchester City were throwing around money left, right, and center as they were ready to take over. In the previous few years, they'd bought Robinho from Real Madrid, Tevez from Man United, Yaya Toure from
Robinho
Barcelona,
completely flopped.
Balotelli from Inter, David Silva from Valencia, and Sergio Aguero from Atletico Madrid. They'd put some team together. The 2011-2012 season was pretty much a two-team race where Man United and Man City battled it out for the entire year. Come the final game of the season, both clubs had the same amount of points.
Oh yes, they're gonna talking about this game. Oh my god.
Difference, it was a simple task for City. Win the last game against QPR and they win the league. Then
3 points. Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero!
with seconds
Fun fact, assist that you saw Balotelli give, I think that was his only assist in City. And what a way for your only assist to be. To give Manchester City the title. Oh my god.
left on the clock, Manchester City finally announced themselves amongst the big clubs, snatching the league right from United's hands. But Ferguson and United would be back for one last hurrah as they signed Van Persie from Arsenal, who was on fire at the time. Van Persie led United's line to their 20th English title. This was it for Sir Alex. He finally called it quits after 26 years and 13 Premier Leagues. He was retiring. Scholes and Giggs followed suit as they also hung up their boots. This was the end of the Manchester United dynasty.
Yep,
and
the beginning of the end of
they
United.
would win. Now roll on 2013. Mourinho's back and it's like he never left. Liverpool had also put together some team with the likes of Sterling, Suarez, and Gerrard. They were leading the title race.
Okay, perfect. Kind of doing Daniel Sturridge a bit dirty. He was really good at at Liverpool at that time. And he deserves credit. During that one season, I don't remember which exact season it was, he went the fuck off. So I think he should be up there. I remember when Gerrard was like, boys, we cannot let this slip. Proceeds to slip. Exact game. I'm not joking. Look up the clip. Got a feel for him. That was his best chance of winning a league. That was actually his best chance of winning the league.
For the majority of the season, but one famous slip from Gerrard cost them the title, so City won it again. In 2015, Mourinho's Chelsea stormed the league with the help of some players from his first tenure, like Lampard and Terry, and some newer faces like Costa and Hazard. This season also saw Harry Kane announce himself to the Premier League, scoring 21 league goals for Spurs, but this came with a lot of criticism where people thought he was just a one-season wonder. He would go on to prove everyone wrong, scoring over 200 Premier League goals in the seasons that followed. We also saw a couple of new managers join the league in Pochettino and Klopp, who were ready to shake up the Premier League, but nobody, and I mean nobody, could expect what was about to happen in the next season.
Premier League champions 2016.
Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, this.
The amazing Leicester City.
Relegation favorites Leicester City won the Premier League.
Yeah.
The season before this, they just escaped relegation.
Yeah, I was
by
gonna
the
say
skin of
this.
Their teeth. The odds of Leicester City winning the Premier League were 5,000 to 1. This is undoubtedly the greatest football achievement in the history of the sport. Jamie Vardy,
Yeah,
Julian
I can say
Alvarez,
that.
and N'Golo Kante were the gems in this team, who, under the guidance of manager Claudio Ranieri, did the
Wait, did he mention Riyad Mahrez? I don't know if he did, but if he didn't, wow, he should be up there.
impossible. Jamie Vardy also went on to break the record for scoring in the most consecutive games. That was 11 games in a row. This season also saw a Mourinho sacking and a Spurs push for the title, with the likes of Dele Alli and Harry Kane being the faces of their team. This was simply a fairy tale season that will never be repeated, and not even Leicester could keep up this form, because just one season later, they sacked their manager as they were flirting with relegation the entire season. Chelsea won that season with Antonio Conte in charge, but the Premier League was about to change as a new dynasty was just around the corner. Pep Guardiola landed in Manchester in 2016. But we can consider his first season as a warm-up year, because in the 17-18 season, he was definitely fired up.
The ball swipes it across, an opportunity, and the ball is in the back of the net.
Manchester City blitzed the league, achieving a record-breaking 100 points.
Yeah.
This team was simply unstoppable, with the likes of Aguero, De Bruyne, Sterling, Sané, and so many more. Mohamed Salah also arrived in the Premier League this season, scoring a record-breaking 32 goals in a single
Ooh,
season. This year
completely
also
forgot
saw
about that.
Liverpool reach the Champions League final, but got their hearts broken at the hands of Real Madrid. Arsene Wenger finally called it quits after a decade of underperforming. And Mourinho was back in the Prem with Manchester United, but it seemed like his best years were behind him. There was a
Well. A bit hard. I know Mourinho is my favorite manager, but like saying that his best years were behind him when he arrived at United, a bit harsh, considering if you look at the team United had at the time. And then there's like, you can probably look it up, but there's like an interview where he like talked about how he like kind of overachieved by winning the Europa League with the like kind of like shirt squad that United had at the time. We later find out that dude, there was a lot of issues that we didn't know back then that Mourinho kind of hinted at. So saying he was past his peak, I don't know about that.
new rivalry coming up. Pep versus Klopp would dominate the next years of the Premier League, taking the title race to the final game of the 18-19 season. Pep edged Klopp out, winning the league by 1 point in 2019. At least Liverpool got their title in the pandemic year. They stormed the Premier League with a team that was just unstoppable. Van Dijk was the key player for them, who really should have won the Ballon d'Or that year. After this season, City
I don't
turned
know.
on the gas once again and won the next 3 titles in a row. In 2021, they had no real challengers, finishing clear above second place Man United. Roll on 2022, and Liverpool were on for the quadruple, but fell short to City yet again by 1 point in the Premier League, and lost the Champions League final yet again to Real Madrid. In the season that followed, Manchester City finally completed football. Thanks to the help of Erling Haaland, they won the Premier League, the FA Cup, and the Champions League, which was the final trophy Pep needed to win at City. Now, a couple of other things happened in this period. Liverpool beat Spurs in a Champions League final in 2020. Poor Spurs fans. Ronaldo returned to United for a year, scored some goals, then moved on to Saudi Arabia, and Newcastle got bought out by Saudi Arabia, who were looking to have the same effect on Newcastle as Abu Dhabi had on City almost 15 years ago. Now, the Premier League is well within the 23-24 season, and the title looks like anyone can win it. Maybe Spurs will finally win a title, but who are we?
Nope, they won't. I don't know when this is made, but like Spurs had a very good start, like 3 months under Ange. Well, like right now, it's really between what is it? Arsenal, City, Liverpool. But I wouldn't be surprised if just City is just like, you know what, time to step up. We're winning.
Kidding here. City will come away with it once again as Holland just looks to be getting better and better. But what's for sure is that the Premier League is just getting better as it has hands down become the best football league in the world.
Overall, good video. What's your favorite team? I don't know how to end this, but like, yeah, goodbye.